Hello friends, welcome to CS Tunes. Today we are going to learn a Turing machine for a left shift. It is an example of a function calculator. In our last two videos, we have seen that how a Turing machine can act as a function calculator for fm equal to m plus 1 and fm equal to m plus 2. In case you haven't watched those videos, you can go back and watch them again. Now today we are going to design a Turing machine that computes the function fn comma m equal to n plus m. Over here we are passing two arguments and the two arguments as the input are provided. The output will be the sum of these two arguments. A Turing machine can be represented using 6 tuples. Capital Q is the set of states. Summation is the set of symbols in the infinite tape, except the blank symbol that is hash. Gamma is the symbols in the infinite tape along with the blank symbol that is hash. Delta is a transition function that can be represented in 3 ways: in the form of a transition graph, in the form of transition function, or in form of a transition table. For this example, we are going to use transition function in order to represent delta. Q0 is initial state and H is our halt state. In case you are not clear about these tuples of the Turing machine, you can go back and watch our video on Introduction to Turing Machine. Now, let us implement the function fn comma m equal to n plus m on the number of symbols I. That means we are providing n number of I as the input and m number of I as the input. The output will be n plus m number of I. For example, let's say n is equal to 2 and m is equal to 3. So if n is equal to 2, that means in the input we are providing 2i. So if we write 2i as the input for n equal to 2, so the starting of the string is represented using a blank symbol hash, and the ending of the string is also represented using a blank symbol hash. Now the other input, the second argument is m and its value is equal to 3 in this example. So for 3 i's, we are taking the input as 3i and the starting of the string m is also represented using a hash and the ending is also represented using a hash. So over here we can see there are two hash. So these two hash can be represented using a single hash. So in this case the input will be hash, then double I, then again a single hash, then triple I and then hash. So this is the input which we are providing, where 2 is the value of n and 3 is the value of m. That means we are providing 2 i's as n and 3 i's as m. Now for this particular input, what we have to do is we have to add 2 plus 3, that is n plus m, to obtain the output. So 2 plus 3 is equal to 5. That means in the output we should have 5 consecutive i's. Now we are going to have 5 consecutive i's as the output. So our output will be represented using a hash in the starting and hash in the ending, and the output will be 5 consecutive I, because 2 plus 3 is equal to 5. Now if we check what is the difference between our input and our output, so we will find that the only difference between the input and output is that this particular hash is not present in our output because we require 5 consecutive I, and this hash has to be removed. So in order to remove this particular hash from our input, we need to replace it by some other value. So what that value can be? If we are deleting it directly, that means there will be a blank space created. So that means it is a hash itself, so we cannot replace it by a hash. Now we can replace it by a I. So if we are replacing it by a I, then we see that how many I's are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have obtained 6 I's. However, we require only 5 I in our output. That means we need to delete any I among these 3 I's. So if we delete the first I, then there will be a blank symbol in between. So our string will be wrong again. If we are deleting this I, then also the string will be wrong. But if we are deleting the last I, that means our string will be correct because it will have 5 consecutive I's after removing the last I. In other words, what we can say that instead of talking like this, we can say that we are shifting the value I to one place to its left. So we are shifting this I in the place of hash. Then the blank is created over here. Then we are shifting this I to this particular place where the blank was created. Now the blank is created over here. So we are shifting this I to the blank place. Now a blank is created over here. So in this way, we can say that this Turing machine is acting as a left shift machine. That's why it is also called a left shift machine. Now, as we are going to solve this example, it is the best example in which you can see that your read-write head of a Turing machine can move in both the directions. It can move in the left direction as well as it can move in the right direction. So how can we design a Turing machine? As we have discussed many a times in our previous videos, that we consider that our read-write head is on the rightmost non-blank symbol. So that means our read-write head is on the last I that is present over here. Now, when we are on this particular I, let's say we are on the state Q naught. So we want to move to the left direction and we want to reach to the hash because we want to remove this particular hash and replace it by a I. So we are replacing it by a value I. So we have replaced the value by I. Now till from the first I till the last I, that means till hash, we are on the same state Q naught because we are treating each and every I in the similar way. So we require a loop over the state Q naught. Now it has to be clear to you over here that each and every I has to be replaced by I itself because at this point of time we don't want to do anything with any of the I. So we are replacing each and every I by a I itself, and once we have reached to the symbol hash, then we are going to change the state. Why we are changing the state? Because hash has to be treated in a different manner as in respect to your I. So I was treated in differently and hash has to be treated differently because hash has to be replaced by a I. Now we have replaced the value hash by a I. So now we want that our read-write head must move to the right direction because if we have replaced the hash by I and we count the number of I in our input, in our output that is produced after this step, we will find that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 I. So we need to remove this particular I. The last I has to be removed. So in order to remove the last I, we need to move our read-write head in the right direction. So now we start moving to the right direction. On moving to the right direction, all the i's will be treated in the same manner. So state will not change. We will again be on the same state Q1 and I will be replaced by the value I itself. We will come till the hash is obtained. Now why are we coming till hash? Because this hash decides that which is our last I. The I that is closest to the hash is our last I. So in order to identify the last I of our string, we need to move till the hash. Now we don't want to do anything with the hash. So we are replacing the value hash by hash itself, and we will change the state. Now, after reaching to the hash, we know that this is the last I and it has to be replaced by a hash. So we need to move only one position to the left direction. Now from this hash, we want to move only one position to the left direction and want to replace this I by a hash. So we want to remove this particular I. So once this I is removed or it is replaced by hash, then the required output is obtained, and we can say that we have reached to the halt state and no further processing is required by our Turing machine. So that is our final output. So the final output consists of 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 I. Now let's write all these steps in the form of a transition function. So initially we are on the state Q0 and we are reading the last I, that is we are reading the rightmost non-blank symbol. Now on reading this I, we will move to the left direction and we will treat all the I's in a similar way. That means all the I's will be replaced by I only, and the movement of the direction of movement of the read write head will be left direction. Once we have reached to the symbol hash, then our hash will be replaced by the symbol I and state will be changed. So from state Q0, the state is changed to Q1 and hash is replaced by the I. Now the read write head will start moving to the right direction. So we have chosen the direction as the right direction. Now while moving to the right direction and we are on the state Q1, so all the I in the path till we are reaching to the hash will be treated in the similar manner. That means there will be a loop over here. So we are treating all the I's in the same manner and all the I's will be replaced by I itself. So we are on the state Q1. We remain on the state Q1 till the I is taken as the input. So whenever the I is encountered on the state Q1, we will remain on the state Q1 itself and I will be replaced by I, and the movement of direction will be right because we are moving to the right direction. Now we will move in the right direction till the hash is obtained. Now suppose we are on the state Q1 and hash is obtained. So again we are going to change the state because hash is treated differently. So we have changed the state from state Q1 to state Q2. Now we don't want to do anything with the hash. So hash will be replaced by hash only and the direction of movement will change to the left direction because we want to remove this particular I. Now we just want to move to a single position after hash in the left direction. So from the state Q2, we are reading the first I and we will change the state to halt state because we don't want to do the same thing with the other I also. We only want to do for single I. That's why we are changing the state from Q2 to the halt state. After this, our Turing machine will halt. It will not do any further processing. And this I has to be removed. That's why we are replacing the I by a value hash. And the movement of direction is taken to be right. So we can take any direction, whatever is required. So either you can move to the right direction or you can move to the left direction or you can take N also. N is for not moving in any of the directions. So again over here we are changing the direction to the right. Now, when we have reached to the halt state and there is nothing left because this hash is read on the right direction, we have a hash. That means the string is accepted. That means we have obtained the required Turing machine for the left shift, or we can say that we have obtained the required Turing machine to solve the function fn comma m equal to n plus m. So this is our required Turing machine, Now the other 5 tuples apart from delta are capital Q, that is our set of states. So the states that we have used over here are Q0, Q1, Q2 and H. So set of state will be Q0, Q1, Q2, H. Then summation is the input symbol that we have provided except the blank symbol. So the input symbol that we are providing is only one, that is our I. So the set summation consists of a single input symbol I. Gamma is the symbols on the infinite tape along with the symbol hash, that is our blank symbol. So the symbol on the infinite tape or the input symbols are just I. So we are using I over here along with the hash, that is our blank symbol. Our initial state is Q naught, so we have taken Q naught as Q naught only, and halt state is H, so we have considered halt state as H only. Now, just to make this solution clear to you, let's dry run the input that we have provided and obtain the correct output. So, if we talk about the input and we see that our read-write head is currently on the last I. Now, we are on the state Q naught. So, we are on the state Q naught and we are reading the symbol I. State remains same and I is replaced by I. Now the read-write head will move to the left direction. So we will move to the left direction. That means we will move to this particular I. State is same Q naught only and we are reading I. So we will again be on the same state Q naught. I will be replaced by I and again we will move to the left direction. So we will come to this particular I. State is Q naught only. Now state is Q naught and we read I from the infinite tape. State remains same Q naught and I will be replaced by I. So again this I is replaced by I only and the movement of direction is left. So read write head has moved to the hash. Now we are on the same state Q naught, but this time we are reading the input symbol hash. So now it will be treated differently. So this hash will be replaced by a I. Now this hash will be replaced by a I and state becomes Q1. So now we are on the state Q1. State is changed and hash is also replaced by I. Now the movement of direction is towards the right direction as we are using R. So again we will see that we are on the state Q1 and reading the first I. So we are on the state Q1 and moving towards the right direction. We are reading this particular I. So we are on this particular, we are on this particular I, and while reading this particular I, so while we are reading, so we can write I over here so that confusion is removed. Now we have reached to this particular I or P and we are on the state Q1. So I will be replaced by I only and we will move again to the right direction. So we have reached to this particular I. Now once we have reached to this I, again we are on the state Q1 and I will be replaced by I only and again we move to the right direction. So on moving to the right direction, we have reached to the last I. Now we are reached as we have reached to the last I, it will again be replaced by I only. Now as we can see the input over here, so we know that this is the last I, but machine cannot identify that this is our last I. So the machine will decide that this is the last I when it reaches to the hash. So once it has reached to hash, the state will change and the hash will be replaced by hash only. So when we are on the state Q1 and reading the symbol hash, the state changes to Q2. Now the state is Q2 and Q2 and hash is replaced by hash and the movement of direction is towards the left. So we have moved towards the left. So we have again reached to this particular I. So again we are on the same I. So this I will be replaced by a hash. So we are going to replace this I by a hash. That means we are removing this I and the state will change to the halt state. So from Q naught we have moved to the halt state. sorry, Q2 we have moved to the halt state. So this I is replaced by hash, and from Q2 we have moved to the halt state, and the movement of direction changes towards the right. Again we are moving to the right direction. Now we are on the halt state and reading the last symbol, that is hash. That means our Turing machine has accepted the input and the output produced is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 eyes. So this is the required output to be obtained. So this is all about this particular video. In case you are having any problem or you want to ask any doubt, you can leave a comment in the comment section below. Stay tuned for further videos and please like and subscribe our channel CS Tunes. Thank you.